Hi, my name is Joanne Tanner and I am coming to you from the Alliance. I'm actually coming to you from my backyard. It was such a beautiful day today, I thought I would try and take advantage of it. So I apologize in advance for shaky screens and lawnmowers and crying children, but we'll give it our best shot here. Have you ever had one of those days? Nothing's wrong. You know you're lucky, you know you're blessed, you know you're healthy, but you're irritated. And it's not going to take a whole lot to set you off. Maybe you're tired, maybe you've hit a few bumps along the road this week and you feel like you just can't catch a break. You're just super annoyed and everyone is jumping on your absolute last nerve. Then someone who is trying to cheer you up and make you feel better shows you one of those poems. You know the ones. If you woke up this morning with more health than illness, you are more blessed than the million who will not survive this week. If you can attend a church meeting without fear of harassment, arrest, torture, or death, you are more blessed than 3 billion people in the world. If you have food in the fridge, clothes on your back, a roof overhead, and a place to sleep, you are richer than 75% of the world. And you're looking at this person and you want to beat them to a pulp. Just because you're blessed in so many ways doesn't mean you can't have an off day. We all have off days where we're just out of sorts. And the best thing we can do is get some rest. A nap in the afternoon or a good night's sleep will help us so much, and everything will look brighter in the morning. But what about those people who are not so lucky? Thousands upon thousands of people are now unemployed thanks to the pandemic. And while some of them can get EI, and that's wonderful, let's face it, you don't get a lot of money on EI. And they have the same number of bills and the same number of mouths to feed. And if you happen to be part of a family that lives paycheck to paycheck, well, you know you're blessed when those paychecks are coming in. What about when those paychecks are not coming in? A good night's sleep is not going to help these people. This kind of problem does not go away overnight. And how about the people who live on the street? They've always depended on us at the red lights to hand out all the change we can find in our pocket and cup holders to help them. I don't know about you, but I no longer carry cash. It's dirty and germy. So who is helping them now? As Eric mentioned on Monday, we are going through a storm. And right now, it's important that we do our best to make sure that nobody gets left behind. While we may all be in the same storm, we are not all facing the same problems, and we're not all in the same boat. Some of us are on multi-level yachts with butlers and cooks, and they're just merely annoyed at the inconvenience of the pandemic. Others are on speedboats or fishing boats or rowboats or dinghies or life preservers, and they're just trying to hold on and make it through. The first thing we need to remember is the promise. Reading from John 6, verse 15 to 23, when evening came, his disciples went down to the lake, where they got into a boat and set off across the lake for Capernaum. But by now it was dark, and Jesus had not yet joined them. A strong wind was blowing, the waters grew rough, and when they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus approaching the boat, walking on the water, and they were frightened. But he said to them, "It is I, don't be afraid." Then they were willing to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat reached the shore where they were heading. As a disciple and a follower of Jesus, as I go through this storm in my little rowboat, it is my responsibility to reach out to those who are in rubber dinghies or life preservers and help them get through. We need to remember some very important words from the Bible. Reading from Hebrews 13, verse 16, "And do not forget to do good and to share with others, for with such sacrifice God is pleased." Or from Romans 12, verse 13, "Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality." Or from Luke 3, verses 10 to 11, "What should we do then?" the crowd asked. John answered, "Anyone who has 2 shirts should share with the one who has none, and anyone who has food should do the same. And reading from Deuteronomy 15, verse 11, "For there will never cease to be poor in the land, therefore I command you, you shall open wide your hand to your brother, to the needy, and to the poor in the land." There seems to be a theme there. I think it's a theme that we all need to work on, and I think it's a theme that perhaps this pandemic is trying to teach us. Despite what the wealthy may think, we are all of equal importance, and it is up to all of us to make sure that everyone gets through the storm and no one is left behind. So what do we do? As things start to open up, you might want to think about making donations to the men's and women's shelters. They're always looking for clothes or food or hygiene articles or toys and books for the kids. You might want to think about making donations to the food banks. More and more people are going to be using them in the near future. And if you know a particular family in need, you might want to drop off some food on their doorsteps. This is one of those times when Nicky Nicky Nine Doors is allowed. You remember that? You used to ring the doorbell and run for all you were worth and hope you didn't get caught. Well, I never did it, of course, but I've heard of others who did. You don't want to embarrass them by handing them a package, but you still want to help them. So you put a care package on their doorstep, ring the bell, and get out of the way. But then again, that was a long time ago, so maybe we should have the kids doing the running. I was stopped at a red light, and there is a man that works that corner. He's a man I speak to often. He's a big man with a white beard, and he's very friendly and jolly and super polite. And I was rolling down my window to apologize to him because I have no change to give him when I remembered something, and I said, "Hold on a second." And I dug through my bag, and I came out with a $10 gift card for McDonald's. I handed it to him, apologizing that that's all I had to offer today. He was so excited. He was doing a little dance on the sidewalk and thanking me again and again, and he was so excited that he was finally going to be able to have a complete meal. Sometimes it doesn't take much to mean a lot to somebody else. So there's another option for us. As we go through Tim Hortons and we go through McDonald's, maybe we could pick up $10 gift cards and just keep them in the car for when we see somebody who looks like they could use a helping hand. But this comes with a caveat. You have to be careful. I was going through Tim Hortons yesterday when I saw a man sitting on the sidewalk with his hat beside him, and I thought, well, he looks like he needs a little bit of a break. So I was rolling down my window to call out to him to find out if he would like something to eat or something to drink, and then I noticed that he was working on an Apple laptop. Now, I don't know about you. My computer is fried, and I need to buy a new one, but I can't afford it right now, and I certainly cannot afford an Apple laptop. However, there are plenty others out there who are in need of your help. As we work our way out of this pandemic into our new normal life, we need to remember those who are not as blessed as we are. And we need to work together to make sure that nobody gets left behind in the storm. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay blessed, be blessed, and be a blessing to someone else. Take good care.